Would you join me for the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father, help us to be receptive to the thoughts and challenges that come to us through prayer, through the printed page, and from the world around us, and help our leaders to find the best solutions to the problems that we face. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2014 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comments shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting, this public announcement, and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Bellegarde.
Here.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Here.
Freeholder Howarth.
Present.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Here.
And Director Gargano.
Here. At this point, we're looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 14th and the conference meeting of April 23rd.
So moved.
Director, may we separate them simply because I have to abstain on one and can vote on the other?
Same as me.
Okay. Be looking for a motion. Freeholder Schwartz, would you mind making the motion on May 14th?
I make a motion for the acceptance of the minutes of May 14th.
I'll second that.
Motion by Freeholder Schwartz, second by Freeholder Howarth. Questions or additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? At
Abstain.
this point, we're looking for a motion for the approval of the minutes of the conference meeting of April 23rd.
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second
Second.
by Freeholder Bellegarde. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
At this point, we'll move on to proclamations. Freeholder Bellegarde.
Thank you. So if I can ask June Cernak and Peg Knight to come up. I think most of us know the amazing work that the American Red Cross does with compassionate care to those in need, from CPR classes and blood drives, having been a blood donor myself over the years. Their disaster relief, which really impacted us here with Hurricane Sandy. So this proclamation is just so poignant and so important. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it because there's some important facts in here. So, whereas the American Red Cross works tirelessly through its employees and hundreds of volunteers to help when disaster strikes, when someone needs life-saving blood, or the comfort of a helping hand to shelter, feed, and counsel victims of disasters, teach life-saving CPR, aquatic safety and first aid skills, and to provide 24-hour support to military members and their families. And whereas the American Red Cross of Camden and Burlington counties staff and volunteers' response to Superstorm Sandy was heroic in providing humanitarian assistance to those New Jersey residents who were devastated by the storm. And whereas the staff and volunteers' response to the Superstorm Sandy storm was heroic in providing that assistance. And whereas across the country, the American Red Cross responds to nearly 70,000 disasters a year, it's amazing, provides 400,000 services to military members, veterans, and civilians, collects and distributes about 40% of the nation's blood supply, and trains more than 7 million people in first aid, water safety, and other life-saving skills each year. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington congratulates the American Red Cross on its long history of service and joins the citizens of Burlington County to honor and salute the American Red Cross in recognition of their indispensable services to the residents of Burlington County. So thank you so much.
Great, thanks.
And I don't know if you ladies want to say a few words about what you do.
Just briefly, I'm the newly appointed Executive Director for the American Red Cross for the Burlington and Camden County chapters. I am a longtime resident of Burlington. I graduated, I went to Burlington City High School, and I now live in Delanco with my family. And I'm so thrilled to be able to be in this environment and to be able to support the entire county and all of the constituents within the county of all the things for the Red Cross. 91 cents of every dollar that is raised from the Red Cross goes back into servicing all of our disaster patients, health and safety, service to the armed forces. And we give over 40% of the nation's blood supply comes from the Red Cross. So it's just truly an amazing effort that we've had. Let's do blood drives throughout the entire county on every single day. Our blood ambassadors do a phenomenal job of that. There are 10 different apps that you can download on your mobile devices for those of you that are mobile savvy, anywhere from pet first aid to hurricane relief. We are coming into hurricane season, and June is CPR Awareness Month. So please make sure that someone in your family or in your organization is CPR and AED certified. And we have plenty of classes, and they're all on our website as well. So thank you again. This is truly an honor for me to be able to receive this. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a few proclamations tonight, so we'll move on to the next one. This is for National Mental Health Night, or Month. Eileen Danielenko, Ruth Heel, and Ruth Stotzenberg. Okay, well, we'll let you get away with that. Let me read this to you. Whereas mental illness can affect anyone, 1 in 5 individuals are affected by some sort of form of mental illness. 1 in 4 in New Jersey, and almost everyone has a loved one or knows someone with mental illness or who struggles to cope with its effects. And whereas 2014 National Mental Health Month goals are to build public recognition and the importance of mental health to overall health and wellness, to inform people of the ways that the mind and the body interact with each other, and to provide tips and tools for taking positive actions to protect mental health and promote whole health. And whereas the National Alliance on Mental Health, NAMI, offers an array of support and education programs that help build better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness, including the information and referral service, both via telephone, online, and whereas NAMI state organizations and local NAMI affiliates offer an array of free education and support programs for individuals, family members, providers, and general public, including the family-to-family, peer-to-peer, NAMI support group, in our own voice, and whereas NAMI is the foundation for hundreds of NAMI organizations, NAMI affiliates, and volunteer leaders who work in local communities across the country to raise awareness and provide essential and free education, advocacy, and support groups programs. And whereas NAMI is proud to provide the following resources for veterans and active duty military members, as well as their family, friends, and advocates. And the Multicultural Action Center focuses on eliminating disparities in mental health care for diverse communities and offers help and hope to individuals of diverse backgrounds. And whereas NAMI FaithNet is a network of NAMI members and friends dedicated to promoting care, faith communities, and promoting the role of faith in recovery for individuals and families affected by mental illness, provides resources and support for local missing persons with mental illness, and the NAMI Legal Center provides lawyer referrals as a service to our members and the general public. Wherefore, be it resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, in recognition of the indispensable service of the National Alliance on Mental Health to the residents of Burlington County, does hereby proclaim May 2014 as Mental Health Month.
Right, thank you very much.
I'm the current president of the Burlington County NAMI. We are a volunteer board, but Eileen has been with the organization for so long, I will defer to her.
Yes, as you mentioned, we're very involved in education. The family-to-family education course, the wonderful 12-week workshop taught by family members, and the main thing is it's free. We have some circulars I'm going to leave here
It's offered twice a year. Also, the CIT training. I don't know if that was mentioned, but we've been with this program since it was first introduced to New Jersey here. And this is where they are training the police. And that also is a 40-hour program. It's wonderful. The only problem is it too is free, but you have to take a police officer off the force for a full week. They learn all about the different mental illnesses, and each one is different. People react differently. We know their life is on the line also when they come involved with this. It's been in the news so much lately. You only hear the horror stories. But education is such an important part, and we're proud of that. We also have developed a handbook, 54-page booklet of resources here in Burlington County. The police used to think the only thing they had was skip. Here they have 54 pages. They also can have this book online in their vans. This is only because the freeholders have supported us through working very closely with Human Services to constantly keep it updated with all the cutbacks and everything. They managed to have this book available. The police get it, all the social programs get it, and so I brought some copies of that too. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
They're going to present to you for
Okay.
so.
Gotta do this.
Yeah.
We're gonna do here? Okay.
Yep.
Good evening,
Good
ladies
evening.
and gentlemen.
Sure.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Major John Cook. I'm the junior ROTC instructor at Pemberton Township High School. I'm a retired officer. I've been doing this at high school for approximately 17 years after retiring from active duty. About 10 years ago, we entered into a program with the clerk's office where we decided we were going to run a civics program at the high school. We were going to take the seniors in the JROTC project and teach them about voter education. How do you register? How do you become a citizen? How do you run elections, etc.? And then, after they learned all of this in civics as part of their curriculum, we sent them out and said, now what you have to do is you have to export your learning. You have to go out and you have to register the senior class of Pemberton High School as voters. So when they leave the high school, they're just like you have a car registration and a car license, you have a voter registration, and you walk into the community as a full citizen, being able to vote. Now, we've done this for 10 years, and tonight I have my seniors coming up here to talk about their success story and what they did as part of this voter registration program. So I'm going to stop speaking, and I'm going to let the kids, who are going to graduate in about 30 days or so, tell you about their program and what they did. Cadet Palmer, you're up first. Jeremy?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Palmer. Like Major Cook said, the seniors that are here, we're all LET4s, or in our 4th year of the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps program at the Pemberton Township High School. And we would like to tell you guys about the service learning project we did called We the People. We the People is a citizenship and leadership program designed to teach the high school students about voting and voter registration. The object of the project was to register the senior class of the Pemberton Township High School to be able to vote. We broke this project down into 4 parts. In the inquire phase, we sat down as a class and Major told us a bit about the project, what we were going to be doing, and how he wanted us to carry it out, so we got the most knowledge from it. In the gather information phase, that was the largest phase that we did. That was the phase where we went out, we had 2 field trips, one to the County Board of Elections office and one to the County Clerk's office. And then we actually set up to do the project, and we actually went out and registered the seniors under this phase. In the analyze results phase, we sat down, we put all of our data into graphs so we could actually physically see our results. And in the apply your learning phase, we looked at the project overall, seeing what we did good, what we did bad, and how we can improve it for the next generation to do it. The objectives for the inquire phase, obviously we broke down into the 4 phases that I just told you about. We identified the project goals, which was to register the senior class, as many as possible, to be able to vote. And then we identified the end of the project essay requirements that we had to do. In the gather phase, we took 2 field trips, one to the County Board of Elections office and one to the County Clerk's office. We organized the data of the project into a spreadsheet, which another cadet will explain. And then we actually went out and we obtained the completed registrations. This is a picture of the Superintendent of Elections, Miss Joanne Paquette, from the Superintendent's office. While we were there, we learned the elements of the voter registration form that had to be filled out. Things like your name, either your social security number or your driver's license ID number. We also learned how to fill out if you were going to be associated with a political party or not. And then we actually went on to the electronic voting machine, and each senior got a chance to use it to fill out a ballot. And then all of our seniors that we brought with us from the program that were 18 at the time registered to vote. This is also from the elections office. The next picture is one of the secretaries is scanning in signatures from the ballots. And that was actually the electronic voting machine that we all got to use. Every senior got a chance to use it and to try it out. The next presenter is Cadet Major Nicholas Gina.
Hello everyone, I'm Cadet Major Nicholas Gina. After visiting the County Board of Elections office, we went to a field trip to the County Clerk's office. Here we learned how to identify major parts and demonstrate knowledge of how to use an at-home ballot form. At-home ballot forms are ones that can be sent to your house instead of you having to go out and actually vote yourself. These are for those who are disabled or the elderly, those who can't go out and vote themselves. We also learned how the registration database is maintained. It's mostly maintained on computers, especially the superintendent's office. They handle all the registrations on computers. They scan everything and it's all digitalized. The county clerk handles absentee ballots on computers. We also learned the role of the county clerk in the process. They actually have 4 roles. They schedule the elections, they make the ballots, and they control at-home ballots, and they certify the results of the election process. Continuing the gather phase, it was time to organize and conduct the registrations. Here we equally divided the senior class to the senior F4 cadets. So it was about 14 seniors per cadet, a nice amount. Then we made Excel spreadsheets to help keep track of those cadets, those seniors that we were assigned. Then we split the senior class into 2 groups, those who would be eligible to vote in a November election and in a June election, so we knew who we had to get first, and those who we would be second priority. Then we conducted the actual voter registration drive. We actually went out to seniors, gave them the forms, made sure they filled them out completely, turned them in, all that. And then we provided status reports on our progress. There were several of these, and they were in order to meet deadlines and make sure we were on schedule. Your next presenter will be Cadet Captain Jeremy Thomas.
Cadet Captain Jeremy Thomas. We actually divided the senior class into 2 levels of priority. Priority ones consisted of students who were born prior to November 5th or on November 5th, 1995, while priority 2s were born after November 6th or on November 6th, 1995. This is because the senior had to be 18 on the day of election or prior. This is an example of one of our cadets this year, one of our Excel spreadsheets. On the spreadsheet here, we have the student's name on the left side, as well as their homeroom so we can find them in the mornings, their birthday so we know whether to classify them as priority 1 or 2, whether they are priority 1 or 2, if they are registered, yes or no, and if they're not registered, the column to the right where it says remarks, where we put remarks as to why they were not registered and how we could come by to actually register them to vote. During the gather phase, each senior roster provided to the school was not accurate and created quite a few problems for us. First off, inactive students on the roster, students that were actually on the roster weren't really in the school to find. Early graduation students also on the roster were not in the school to actually find either. Or other students that were missing because of transfers throughout the military base, where those actually came to our school instead of going to the school home base. During the gather phase, we had to apply our personal leadership skills by registering potential voters of the senior class. We also had to analyze the voter registration efforts by constructing graphs, identifying potential and actual registration by priority. We also had to analyze voter registration problems by creating a summary of reasons why students refuse to register to vote. This is a graph depicting possible seniors that could be registered to vote compared to those that we actually managed to register. We have it separated by priority 1s and priority 2s, and we had the bar on the right that depicts the total amount of seniors that were possible to vote and those that were actually completed. This pie chart depicts the registration status of all the seniors. The largest portion, which is 75% of the pie chart, were students that were actually completed, while the biggest portion of the chart were students that were missing their social security numbers, which was 9% of the students that were registered. Now we came by to actually register these students by looking up their social security numbers for them, because most of them didn't know their social security numbers themselves. And at the end of this, we actually came up to a total of 84% of the senior class this year registered to vote. And next up to present is cadets, first lieutenants, Leslie Kyle.
Good evening, everyone. For the reflection for the analyze phase, this pretty much explains what problems that we had that during the project, but we couldn't do. Some of our cadets couldn't register some of our students because they were in a different alternative program called ALPS, which were there in a different building, so we couldn't reach them. Some students didn't turn into forms. Some students sent in incomplete forms, which didn't provide the social security number correctly, or they didn't know their exact information to put on the paper. Some gave us false information because they didn't provide accurate information as far as their phone number or the address. Going to the next for the apply phase. This is where our students, as a senior class, sat down and realized why students couldn't register. We developed solutions of why they could. Some refused to register as well, and we had to sit down and evaluate our project by assessing and see how we could improve our citizenship and leadership skills as well. The reflection on this, on why students why they didn't want to register, is that some students didn't want to give up their personal information to strangers around the senior class. Some had already previously registered. They were already 18, so they registered in the past, or have already voted. And some students were not actually U.S. citizen, so they didn't want to register. Next we have presenting is First Lieutenant Jason Clark.
Hello, First Lieutenant Jason Clark. The last thing that the senior class had to do before finishing the project was come up with ways to improve for future classes. It makes it easier to register the class to vote. One of the ways the class decided to make it easier was holding an assembly with all the seniors so they all can learn about what we're doing, and it's not so it's easier for them to get the information out and get more people to register to vote. Another one we brought up is getting home teachers involved, get out the slips to register to the students so it gets there quicker and it saves time. And the last one that the senior class came up was extending a letter home to the parents. So that the parents are getting it so they can help look it over if you don't know their social security number and stuff like that. This is the graph of all the seniors that we got to register over the past 10 years. Out of 270 possible registrations, we got 186. Over the 10 years, we got a total of 2,021 seniors registered to vote. The success rate of this year was 85% of the seniors were registered and are now able to vote. 2,000 new voters have been added to the polls as of this year.
Freeholder Director, if I can.
Please do.
Sure. The cadets are unaware of this, but on behalf of the Burlington County Clerk's Office, myself, my Deputy Clerk Wade Hale, Superintendent of Elections, Board of Chosen Freeholders, we'd like to present these cadets with medals for their citizenship and everything that they have done. 84% is outstanding when you consider that the voting registration for that age group hovers around between 50 and say 55%. So if you guys wouldn't mind all coming up here. My deputy clerk, well, he's already here. Perfect, I'll just handle it. Fine. I'll actually start down here. Thank you.
They got fancy ones. He's got a trust fund. That's what happened. We're in a trust fund.
Yes. On behalf of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, I just want to commend you guys, you gals, on an extremely well done job. And I think, you know what, there are a lot of other ROTC groups in the county, and it might be a good idea if you reach out to them, roll this out to them in their schools. They can do the same thing. I think it's good. And I'm sure that Tim wouldn't mind coming and helping out your assembly. We had to be able to have an assembly and have somebody come in actually from the office to be able to then, you know, talk to the kids, tell them what's going on. And if you want to involve people, you know, from his office, I think it would be a great assembly. So I have a proclamation here for you guys, and it's going to be presented to you guys here plus Major, because I only have one, so we're going to hang it up in the school or in your trophy case. What it says is, whereas the Pemberton Township High School Junior ROTC program has successfully registered more than 2,000 senior students to vote in the 10-year program, and whereas the Pemberton JROTC this year has registered over 85% of the eligible seniors to vote as well. You should be commended on that. Whereas the Pemberton JROTC helped develop solutions to improve voter registration by designing ways to overcome student refusals to register, and aims to improve both citizenship and leadership skills. Whereas the JROTC senior cadets also visited the County Board of Elections, the County Clerk's Office, as part of the project's curriculum to learn how voter registration and elections are managed, and complete an 8-page report for college credit. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington hereby thank and congratulate Pemberton High School JROTC and its instructors, Major John Cook and First Sergeant Cedric Gaston, and their successful We the People citizenship project to teach students about the importance of being informed and involved in our country's election and government process. So I commend you. I thank you very much, Major.
cadets here. 1 year ago, in June of 2013, the program, which included these cadets, was honored with the Jefferson Award by Governor Christie. The Jefferson Award was for the best youth program in the state of New Jersey.
I appreciate it. Sir, if you'll allow us, we're going to grab our stuff and
Surely.
I have to get the kids home.
Go right ahead.
Loretta and Meredith, you want to come forward?
That worked.
This is a proclamation, it's interesting. This is the 100th anniversary of this, I'm not going to read all the whereases and wherefores, and then I'm going to murder the talk, right? Yes. It's the 100th anniversary of something called the Smith-Lever Act. That established a lot of the county extension service, the cooperative service, which then gave birth to the 4-H. So it's also the 100th anniversary of the 4-H. Those of us, and I'm looking at Mary Pat and other people in the audience, who have been very actively involved with the county fair for all these years, know the importance of the 4-H. I think without the 4-H, we probably would not have had a county fair. Right? So this is a proclamation from the Freeholders recognizing the 100th anniversary, it says, of the Smith-Lever Act that established a cooperative extension. But the cooperative extension, again, the most important part of it was the 4-H. So I'm going to give you guys a proclamation, but I'm going to really turn it over to Meredith, who is 4-H. What is your specialty, lamb, sheep?
Actually clogging.
Clogging, yes.
Oh, right.
So you guys want more about that?
And I'm currently the Burlington County Park Fair, so both the fair and the race.
Farm fair queen, and that's your wish slash.
Not tonight. Memorial Day.
But we're really very proud of 4-H. Again, you're the heart and soul of this county. Down on farms, I think you've heard all the Freeholders say this in the past, that the farms are the heart and soul of this county. So thank you, and we're ready to see you.
Take a quick picture.
And then Meredith?
Thank you.
Who would you like to?
Hello, everyone. Like you said, I'm Meredith McBride. She kind of explained a little bit about the Smith-Lever Act of 1914, which was established 100 years ago. This act really began the spread of cooperative extensions across our nation, and since then has given our county an incredible resource for all of our residents, and including 4-H, which I personally have benefited from so much for the past 10 years. I think I started when I was around 5. So first off, today as we celebrate the 100 years of cooperative extension, I wanted to mention the 6 different parts of our cooperative extension we have here in Burlington County. The first would be 4-H, then our agriculture and resource management, family and community health services, master gardeners, New Jersey Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP-Ed, and water resources. Each of these programs serves a unique opportunity for county residents to become educated and informed about these different topics, as well as to get residents involved in these different programs. For example, the Ag and Resource Management assists farmers with things like crop management, while the Family and Community Health Sciences provides families and groups with health promotion training, fact sheets, and other resources. Our county cooperative extension not only provides agricultural, environmental, SNAP, and health and nutrition services, but it also serves approximately 1,100 youth who are members in our county's 4-H program, and I am one of them. 4-H is a national youth development program for youth from kindergarten all the way up to their first year in college, and contrary to popular belief, 4-H has many different types of clubs and is not limited to agricultural or animal clubs, although we have lots of different agricultural and animal clubs here in Burlington County. In fact, 4-H has 3 major mission areas, and the first is healthy living, STEM, also known as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and then the third is citizenship. A few of the different clubs we have here in Burlington County, and we have several, are clogging, which I happen to be a big fan of, but citizenship, robotics, and lots of animal clubs. And I would like to mention actually that one of our robotics teams won the regional competition recently and went on to participate at the state level, which is something that is a huge accomplishment, and we're very proud that our Burlington County robotics team, 4-H robotics team, went on to represent Burlington County in that way. And 4-H is providing a way for youth from all areas, not just farms, to be able to participate in 4-H, which is so nice that it isn't limited to that. But even though it originally was that intention, it's really expanded over the years, which is such a great thing. 4-H provides all youth with an educational, supportive, and creative way to learn about an area while building life skills. Some of these life skills include leadership, public speaking, responsibility, and team building. Not only is it benefiting a large number of youth, but also a large number of our military youth. Approximately 450 youth from military families are a part of 4-H. 4-H allows youth whose families are in the military to meet other youth and get connected into a positive group that is so important for our military families to have. I could speak so much longer about all that 4-H provides for our county residents and the wonderful privilege it is for our county to be a part of Rutgers and to have this cooperative extension. But tonight, as we celebrate the past 100 years since the Smith-Lever Act, which provided a way for the public to learn and be connected to our New Jersey State University, I would like to recognize the flourishing cooperative extension we have here in Burlington County. So thank you on behalf of all the residents of Burlington County for recognizing and celebrating with us the 100 years of cooperative extension. This is an invaluable resource we have here in Burlington County, and I hope that we have many, many more years of it to come. So thank you all so much.
Move on to item J, which would be a presentation from the DVRPC.
Good evening. I'm Barry Seymour, the Executive Director of the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. Pleasure to be here tonight. After you've given out that series of awards, I'm glad that I'm able to present one to the freeholders this evening. Before I present the award, I want to make 2 quick points. One, I know Burlington County is a proud member of DVRPC. With the departure of Freeholder Arter, there's now a vacancy as representative, and hopefully one of the freeholders can serve that. We'd love to have you there. It's a great opportunity to connect with your neighbors, both in New Jersey and across the river, so we'd love to do participation. Second, I noticed later on the agenda there's an item where you're going to be taking action to authorize a grant to us. So I hope you won't mind if I excuse myself before we get to that, so we'll avoid that. What I'm here tonight is to present an award on behalf of the Air Quality Partnership. One of the programs that DVRPC administers is one to help promote and protect and improve the air quality within the region. The larger Philadelphia region is a non-attainment area for ozone, and now that the summer is coming and the weather is warming, it's ozone season once again. So every year, to help promote the Air Quality Partnership and to take recognition of efforts that the public sector, that the private sector, that our citizen and civic groups take to protect air quality, we recognize 2 organizations for the steps that they've taken to help promote air quality. Here in Burlington County, the freeholders have taken an active step to help protect the environment and improve air quality. Steps such as setting up a carpool program for your employees, installing a solar panel to help power the county offices, use of compressed natural gas for your vehicle fleets and capturing methane, and working with us to help promote Ozone Action Days, days when businesses, citizens, individuals can take steps to promote air quality. So it's an important effort. In Burlington County alone, we estimate that about 13% of the population, or almost 10,000 children, suffer from asthma. Asthma is one of the diseases, along with heart disease, respiratory diseases, that are impacted by ozone. So the steps that you take are helping to protect the environment, helping to protect the lives and the health of children and residents in the county, so we commend you on that. So it's my pleasure on behalf of the Air Quality Partnership, a coalition of public-private organizations, to present to the Board of the Burlington County Freeholders our 2014 Air Quality Partnership Excellence Award for its commitment to promoting mobility options, reducing emissions from energy generation. And with me today is our manager of the Air Quality Partnership Program, Sean Green. So thank you, Sean.
Now, I'm going to give you a chance to escape if you want. So, if you want the opportunity, you can have it now. I'll give you a couple seconds, and then we're going to move on with our agenda.
He wasn't specific.
Except you.
We could all leave, but you.
Alrighty, now we're going to move on to item K, which is the presentation of our new county website.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Nick Becky, and I head up our county IT department, and I'm joined tonight by Charlene Webster, who's in charge of our strategic planning and marketing department, and we're pleased to provide you a special sneak preview of our newly redesigned county website. For sake of time, I'm going to turn it over to Charlene to hit the high points here on our website.
Okay, this is going to be very down and dirty because I know you guys have already done a lot of stuff going on. This weekend we are launching our new website. The last time we redid the website was in 2010. Industry standards say that about every 4 years you should redo a website. So this is our website. We did a lot of research before we actually did design this. We did Google Analytics, which showed where our residents are looking on our website, what information they're looking for, and really what their needs are. And we also did some research on what other people look for on the website, like where do they think things should be? Not necessarily where we think it should be, but where, you know, like if the resident's looking for a specific thing. So what we did is we started really from like the top down, and we didn't want this to be like every single other government website out there. We wanted to have a fresh look, something that was different, something that, you know, people are going to be using. So up at the top here, we started with you can share this. Everyone nowadays has a smartphone or a tablet or, you know, a laptop, and everyone is on social media. So right now you can connect to social media right here through our website, so you can, it's really easy to share something that you like. You see information, if you see something that is like news or calendar item, you can share on about 10 different social media sites. Also, right next to it is our site tools. This gives you printer-friendly options, so you don't have to print all the background colors. You can get RSS feeds. You can also translate it. So for our folks in the county that do not speak English as their first language, and they would like the website in another language, we can translate it right here. We have a search feature, so you can search anything on here. Then we have the menus, and we divided up into government, departments, services, business, community, and a how do I. So if you can't figure out what exactly you're looking for, it's got to be in one of these menus. And most of these menus are have a redundancy to them. So a lot of things you're looking for are on several of the different menus. So you don't necessarily have to know exactly where to go to look for it, because it's probably in several different locations. Right here is one of our showpieces. This is a revolving picture that we can use really as, well, we use it as a marketing tool really, but it shows what's going on with the county. Can you flip through? Like this one right here. This is announcing that our single stream recycling is beginning on September 1st. And to learn more, we can actually click through to the single stream recycling page to get more information. So as things come up, it'll, flash on the screen, and you'll be able to get the information in real time. Another thing I wanted to point out to you guys is the buttons in the middle of the screen. These are things that people are always looking for, and a lot of times they're hidden on websites. The contact us. How many times have you gone to a website and you're trying to figure out how to contact somebody and you can't get the information? It's like that a lot. Right here, center, contact us. The stay connected. So you can actually get feeds from our site. And what that does is you can get information on certain pages. You can subscribe to county news. You can subscribe to the upcoming calendar events, or individual, like if you want health department news, you can subscribe to that. And if there's any updates on the health department, you will get an instant notification. Transparency, this was a really big thing last year. We had a big push for more government transparency. And right here, front and center, all of our documents on here, the budgets, any kind of information that people regularly look for is on there. And we're updating it constantly. So if we see a request come in all the time about something, then it's going to be put right there. Employment. This is not just for county jobs. This is for jobs that are in Burlington County that are not just county jobs, but if, it might be an accounting position somewhere, or whatever. So it's links to Jobs for Jersey, and it's also links for jobs that we want to highlight. That companies are coming to us saying, hey, we have this job, we're looking for somebody, and it's right there. So no one in Burlington County should have an excuse saying, I don't know where to find a job. You go to the county website. Also, right here is county news. And the cool thing about this is that not only do we have a headline, which we have now on our current website, but this actually gives you a teaser. So you can have a little bit of information about that, not just the headline. Plus, we get to put pictures next to the news that's going on. We have calendar functions, and we're going to open this calendar up to other organizations in the county that are nonprofits, not like businesses or anything like that. But if you have an event, we can put it on here. And what you can do is, these are like the highlight ones that are for the next 2 weeks. But you can also view more items, and you can sort it by what type of event you're looking for. One of the things I want to say, up here, there's a sign-in. What you can do is you can actually register for our site, and you can customize the website to fit your needs. So if you want to come to, stuff about human services, that, you'll get that information first.
That's an amazing site. That's awesome. I like it.
Thank you.
That's really awesome. You guys rock that.
All right. At this point, we'll move on to item I. Paul, would you want to read this?
Yes, sir. Be my pleasure. Public hearing, final adoption of resolution number 2014-00190 to exceed the county budget appropriation limits and to establish a capped bank.
The shortest one ever.
It is. That's why I thought you were going to take it.
At this point, I'll open the public hearing. Seeing no one speaking, I'll close the public hearing. At this point, do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder Howard, second.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Donnelly. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Freeholder Bellegarde.
Yes.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Yes.
Freeholder Howard.
Yes.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Yes.
And Director Gargano.
Yes. At this point, we'll move on to public comments on agenda items. There's 2 public comments on our agenda. This is for anything that is on our agenda this evening. The later one will be for any items that you'd like to discuss with the Freeholder Board. Okay. Meredith McBride. I think she already spoke, right? And Titus Pierce.
No, I didn't know that I had, I wanted to speak at the later.
We'll bring it to the back one. Anyone else on agenda items? Seeing none, I'll close this public portion. We'll move on to resolutions, and I'd make a motion to approve items 1 through 11 by unanimous consent.
Second.
Motion by Gargano, second by Donnelly. Questions or additions on any of the 11 items?
Yes, I would like to, I have a couple questions on some of the bills. Item number 1, if we could remove that. And then I would like to remove items 5 and 11 just for a little bit further explanation.
Would you mind if we just didn't remove them and you can comment and ask your questions on them right now? That would be perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
You ready for number 1?
Go on 1.
Okay. So, Mr. Troy, I have a couple questions. Well, first let me note on the bill list, page 4, the Alice Paul Institute, I need to recuse myself. Page 14, there's an item on there, I don't know if I'm going to say this name right, Scott Buckheit or Buchheit, some kind of spec fees, $2,262.60. Can you tell me what that is, please?
I can Freeholder. This is our 50% payment for an arbitrator fee.
Okay.
For a hearing for PBA, Local 249.
Okay. Page 19, Cape Hart and Scatcherd. Do you by any chance have those invoices, and can I see them?
I do have them.
Great, thank you. Page 39, the Glen Air Equestrian Program. Can you tell me what that is?
This is something in the sheriff's office, funded through her grant.
Okay. Anybody know any more about that?
I can actually comment on that. That's actually a program, one of the prevention programs that's funded through the Youth Services Advisory Council.
Okay.
That provides equestrian training and mentoring and some programming for kids who are at risk of involvement in the juvenile justice system. So
Okay.
it's a component of a larger program.
Great, thank you. Page 72, there's an entry there for Remington Burnick. I think the total comes to about $30,000, but there's one piece of a few pieces there that was just $2,000 for professional services. Do you know what that $2,000 was for?
I do, Freeholder. That's the engineering services for replacement of County Bridge D4-47CR616 in Medford.
Okay. Page 80, T&M Associates. Again, I think there's a total there of just over close to $9,000, but I had a question with regard to one entry that was $4,942. Again, I think it just mentioned professional services.
Yes, Freeholder. That's engineering improvements on CR 545 and 543 in Mansfield Township.
Okay. And then page 85, the Township of Medford Library, $27,205. I just want to make sure we're good with things with the Medford Library now.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Just want to check. And then finally on page 103, YMCA. I need to recuse myself. That's all I have on the bills.
Okay. And 5 if you
Okay.
want?
Well, I have
Yeah.
4. I want something on the bills.
Oh, you want to go stick on bills? All right,
Yeah,
that's good.
page 4, Alice Paul Institute. Tell me we're a governmental entity that's advertising?
This is advertisement. This is congratulations to Diane Mills McKay on her 2014 Alice Paul Award recipient.
Anna?
Advertisement.
That was an ad through our advisory council on women. Our chair was honored at a dinner, and it was in support of that dinner.
How is it paid for? Out of Fund 10? I mean,
No.
no? Okay.
It's a trust fund. It's the 30 account.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else on the bills while we're on them?
And I brought it to your attention.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to Mr. Drayton's attention later.
That's all I had on the bills.
Okay, we'll move down to, I think you said 4.
No,
5?
item 5, yeah. I just wanted a little further explanation on items 5 and 11.
Nick?
Yes, Freeholder. This is part of our data center modernization project that was approved through our capital budget funding. This is to replace our cabling in our data center with fiber optic cabling.
Okay.
So, for example, the website, since we're modernizing and getting new technology, we need to increase the bandwidth so there's no bottlenecks in the data center as far as the bandwidth and the speeds. So we're taking the opportunity now to put the fiber optic. Okay. We're kind of behind the times in the data center, so we want to be out. This is part of the capital project fund.
Okay.
So you can go to 11 on here.
If you don't mind, that would be great.
Yeah. This is the Lynx equipment, which are the wireless panic alarms located at 49 Rancocas and at the ports. We're having some of the buttons fail, and they're not able to replace them anymore because they're on an analog system. They don't sell these buttons any longer, so we're upgrading to a digital system that's more reliable, and we can have spare parts available here on site.
Any other? Just have a couple quick comments on item 2, the establishment of the Burlington County Energy Aggregation Program. This is an aggregation program that allows Burlington County to negotiate a bulk purchase of energy supplied on behalf of the municipality and residents. It'll give the ability to save some money. It'll make our businesses more competitive. The average is, we're looking at a 9% savings is the estimates that we're looking to have. And that could save as much as $11 million or almost $100 a household for every resident in Burlington County. Once we go out and we get our rates, every resident in Burlington County can either opt in, opt out, or they'll be able to opt out, go to a third party. It won't lock anybody in, but there's an opportunity for us to actually save every resident in Burlington County some money on the process. One thing that we're really excited about, it's going to put money back into people's pockets. And it's also going to make our businesses more competitive. If we can turn around and lower our energy costs, it's just like cutting their taxes. And if we can do that, we're going to make our businesses more competitive and actually bring more jobs and things back into Burlington County. So, just wanted to give you a quick update on that. Any other questions on items 1 to 11 or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain, I'd like to abstain for Alice Paul on page 4, also abstain for the Burlington County College, and yes for the rest of those.
And
my abstentions were noted.
And your abstentions were noted. Items from Freeholder Donald.
Thank you, Director. At this time, I move for unanimous consent of resolution items numbered 12 through 15.
A motion for Freeholder Donnelly, second.
Second.
Freeholder Howarth, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Howarth?
Thank you, Director. At this time, I'd like to move for unanimous consent, resolution 16 through 21.
A motion by Freeholder Howarth, second.
Second.
Freeholder Bellegarde, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? At this point, I'll be taking nominations and election on a purchasing agent for a 3-year term. Do we have anybody who would be nominated?
Mr. Director, at this time, I'd like to nominate Sharon Brockman.
All right, any other nominations? A motion for the, do I need a motion to close the nominations? Can I just close it?
If there are no other nominations, you can just close it.
All right, I'll close the nominations. At this point, could we vote by name?
Freeholder Bellegarde.
Sharon Brockman.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Sharon Brockman.
Freeholder Howard.
Sharon Brockman.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Sharon Brockman.
And Director Gargano.
Brockman. At this point, I'll take nominations for the Mental Health Board.
Director, at this time, I'd like to nominate the following people for the Mental Health Board's 3-year term. Ann Moore, Dr. Michelle Morris, Joel Poplar, Patricia Hunt O'Neill, Geraldine Barber, Anna Piazzo, and Barbara Biglin, Josephine Moreland, and Rachel Morgan.
Do I hear any other? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations.
You got names as read.
Names as read, it's going to make that one easy, huh?
You can do that.
Freeholder Bellegarde.
Names is read.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Names is read.
Freeholder Howard.
Names is read.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Names as read.
And Director Gargano.
Names is read. At this point, I will make appointments to the Human Services Advisory Board. Ron Ulick, Eve Cullinan, Kelly West, Mary Ann Furpey, Antonia Roller, Beth Dunlap, Harry Mormenstein, Don Starn, Linda Barnes, Teresa Toby, Angela Gonzalez, Linda Sievers, Bruce Conway, Jane Brezow, Joe Zeski, Ann Paniloza, William Stewart, Kevin Tomasello, and Eddie Tripicchio. And now to the Human Services Board. Judge John Cole, Greg Lambert, Robert Bernard, Robert Van Gilst, Kevin Walker, Barbara Soprani, Peggy Nicolosi, Dr. Christopher Mano, Barbara Weir, Nina Roller, Barbara Bilgan, Anna Panozzi, Joanne Kirk, Lynn Aneri, and Maya Median, Sue Menges, Gene Stanfeld, Mike Snyder, Gregory Smith, Elizabeth Dunlap, Trina Jackson, Russ Hatcher, Nafisa Green, and James Groff. And then to the Local Advisory Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse for 2014, Larry Appling, Gino Battersby, Jim Warner, Kathy Riker, Kevin Tomasello, Steve Martin, Benjamin Gonzalez, William Stewart, Donald Weinbaum, Walter Tafe, Kendall Champion, Suzanne Menges, and Alfreda Francis. We will move on to questions from the press.
I have a few.
Okay.
Let's start with the energy aggregation.
Yes.
My only question is logistics. How does a resident opt into this program? In other words, what steps does a resident have to take?
Each, correct me if I'm wrong, but each town is going to have to opt in for their residents. If your town opts in, you're in. We're going to be able to supply the paperwork that if you, for some reason, want to get out of it, if you want to go somewhere else, we're going to use our new website and we're going to go out and make sure people can get out if they want to. All this is going to be filling out a paper and they can be out. If you do nothing, you'll get the savings. We're being told that we're guaranteed that we will be lower than the public service rate. We can put that into the contract. So you're at no time, if for some reason the rates change or anything happens, you go above what public service or other providers supply, you can get out.
Will it be up to municipalities to notify the residents about this?
I think we're going to be doing that, and we're going to deal with the municipalities also. I mean, they'll be part of the process, but we're definitely going to get out there and explain it to everybody.
Item number 9 on the agenda. Can somebody give me a brief overview of what the Seniors Farmers Market program is about?
This is basically the ability that we're how much are the, it's $20. They're $20, I guess there's a gift card or that allows them to go to our local farmers markets with the senior citizens and purchase vegetables and fresh produce from those farm stands.
You mean beyond the county farmers market?
There's a group, I'm not sure.
Yes, no, yeah, it's beyond the county's farmer market. The thing that's remarkable.
I'm thinking of the thing on Saturday.
Yeah, no, this is any vendor that signs up and participates.
Oh.
Which, how many are there?
Cool, a lot. The cool thing about this, though, it helps seniors that need that revenue buy fresh produce. It helps our agricultural community sell the produce, and the two of them get to meet one another, which frequently doesn't happen.
Yeah. And this is a new thing?
No, it's been as long as I've been on the board, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And God knows I'm not new. So.
Okay, my last question is about item 15. I'm somewhat familiar with the evolving nature of Mansfield's wastewater plan. Is there any way to sum up briefly what the site-specific amendment is?
Joe.
That's not him. I don't have anybody here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary Pat's here.
Yeah, it's actually Mary Pat's.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wastewater. Sorry.
61-acre tract of land in Mansfield that was designated to be sewered by a specific wastewater treatment facility in the county. What we're doing is we're transferring that sewer service area from one designated treatment facility to another wastewater treatment facility. Okay. Thanks. That's all.
Got them all? Okay. All right, now we will move on to public comment. This is basically whatever you'd like to discuss. Mr. Pierce.
Good evening.
I'm Titus Pierce. I'm running for governor here in New Jersey. I'm a Democrat. I'm a blue dog. I'm what you would consider fiscally conservative and socially liberal. I wanted to let you guys know that last week I submitted a proposal that would ask for the 380-acre campus of Burlington County College in Mount Laurel to transition it into a 40,000-man university called New Jersey State University. On my website, TitusPierce.com, you get a chance to see the entire proposal. There would be massive impacts with the 40,000-man university. It would definitely impact the townships of Morristown, Mount Laurel, Willingboro, Hainesport, Lumberton, and a few others. Chiefly because the professional staff of the university would be about 3,000, and then the additional staff would be about 12,000. So you would incur some type of movement around the county in that area. In addition to that, this being the largest county in the state, my new agriculture program called Jersey Fresh Goes Global requires our agrarian society to expand the economic growth from $1 billion in revenues to about $3 billion minimum, and then we would like to grow that portfolio value by 7% year over year. So $3 billion in the first year of the program, taking the agricultural products into 16 new markets, which we call the new emerging market favored trade block, and then growing it from 3 to 7, then into 14, with the maximum being about $24 billion. Where did we come up with these figures? New Jersey has about half as much arable land as the state of California. Now you probably think that California is a pretty big state. It also has mountains, deserts, dense redwood vegetation, and everything else under the sun. So what they're growing is about the same amount of space that we have in New Jersey. Governor Jerry Brown reported last year that they did $47.8 billion in agricultural production. Okay, we did $1 billion, and we're selling 111 different products on the New Jersey agricultural portfolio, which is abysmal. We absolutely have to get in here, we have to do better. So my plan is to go in here and take our products, leading with Yukon Gold potatoes, which they grow at the production site in Morristown between the two ships in the field. Also, there's this new Japanese vegetable that they grow out there as well. This new vegetable is a green that you can mix inside the spring mixes and things like that. So we want to definitely sell that. We want to sell more red lettuce from New Jersey. We're going to sell more heirloom tomatoes, more corn. Old Man Protnick over in Mercer County, from Protnick Farms across from Day Farms, has a new white tangerine that they just introduced 2 summers ago. We want to sell that on the global stage. If we move our agricultural products like we've aforementioned here, we'll be able to develop a tax revenue base of about $145 million in gross receipts for every $3 billion that we bring in revenue. So if we bring in $6 billion in agricultural revenue, we bring in $300 million in tax receipts. That's really significant. Right now we brought in $1 billion in revenue, which means we're only bringing in maybe $12 to $15 million in tax revenue. The name of the game is to expand the business. The state is a business, we're open for business. So we have to look at all avenues. So I wanted to come to the county, who has most of the farmland, and bring that to them. No doubt, there are other ideas that we'd like to introduce, as well as a second university that would be much larger. It will be called the University of South Jersey. It will be in Gloucester County. That bad boy will have 80,000 students, and it will take a professional staff of roughly 12,000 folks, the professional side, and a total of about 30,000 in the workforce. Each of the universities that I mentioned would take an endowment that we would have to raise of about the smaller one would be $4 billion, and the larger one would be about somewhere between 8 to 12 over a 12-year cycle. In addition to that, I'm requesting that we merge portions of the Rutgers University into what we would call the Rutgers University system. Now you would say, why would we want to do that? Currently, Rutgers is a collection of 3 schools and some allied health outfits and things like that, and we're bringing in about $600 million in endowment. If we merged them today, we would only have an endowment with the 10 schools that are proposed of $900 million. Rutgers is the #1 school in the world for research with an endowment of $600 million. It's competing with schools like Hop, University of Southern California, Wharton, and everything else under the sun. And all of these university systems all have $6 billion. Notre Dame has $7 billion. Where I come from, Texas A&M University Systems, 121,000 students and $7 billion. We're doing something wrong, and we have to go to the board and figure out how do we get the #1 school for research on top. My demand is this: whenever you're good at something, in a business standpoint, you actually have to go out there and pay for it. So we need to get Rutgers, which is #1, looking like the rest of them. And part of it is dealing with the estate tax. our state tax is pretty high, it's about 55%. And my proposal that we sent out today brings the state tax down to about 18% to make us competitive with all of the larger states. So I said, you know what? I saw on Twitter on my dashboard on Amy Belber's Twitter say, go down to Burlington County today at 7 p.m. I said, you know what? Let's go home. The last time I was here, I was a junior freeholder for libraries and land use for youth and government. Back then, the freeholder director was Jim Vujic, and I was serving under Vince Ferris. So I said, hey, it's good to be back home. So that's why I wanted to come out here and speak during the public comment section.
Thank you.
Visit my website, TitusPierce.com, and check out what we want to do for New Jersey. One thing's for sure, our $670 billion economy needs to be $1 trillion, and my platform is this. Give me 3 years and I'll get us up to $850 billion or even fire me.
Thank you, sir.
That's good to you.
Any other one on public comment? Ma'am?
Thank you. I didn't see the sign up sheet, but.
No, you're fine. Just
I appreciate your recognition.
name and address and.
Yes, my name is Tamara Fishman, 210 Chippewa Trail in Medford Lakes. Our beautiful pinelands are in danger. They're in danger from a liquid gas pipeline that South Jersey Gas wants to run through its forested area. The commissioners who serve on the Pinelands Commission are sworn by law to protect them from such a pipeline. The Pinelands Commissioners are bound by a mandate they must adhere to. The mandate is known as the Comprehensive Management Plan, which is part of the Administrative Code of the State of New Jersey. The Comprehensive Management Plan specifically states that this pipeline is illegal because part of it will run through the forested area of the pinelands. Every commissioner on the Pinelands Commission has the obligation to uphold this comprehensive management plan. The variance South Jersey applied for to allow this pipeline was narrowly defeated in a vote by the commissioners on January 10th of this year. But the current Burlington County Commissioner voted for it. Therefore, he did not uphold the comprehensive management plan, as is his sworn duty to do. His term of service is soon up for review. There is at least the potential that this pipeline issue will come before the Finance Commission again. We need commissioners who will adhere to the comprehensive management plan to protect our pinelands, or we're going to lose them. 4 former governors, in a bipartisan effort, much more eloquently than I can, rallied in defense of the pinelands. Won't you please come to their defense also? Please appoint someone to the Pinelands Commission who will uphold the law by upholding the comprehensive management plan. And I am also requesting that we let the public know when the appointment of a commissioner to the Pinelands Commission will be on your agenda. Thank you. If I may, I would like to submit a letter to the clerk, if I may.
Yes.
For the freeholders to read.
Okay, thank you.
Jimmy, I have a question.
Yes.
I've been following this in the paper, and I was of the understanding that the governor makes the appointments.
He does. That's not an appointment made by this board. We consent, sir, we consent to it, but it's a gubernatorial appointment.
Each of the counties.
Ray, would you identify yourself, please?
Come on up.
Excuse me, I'm Arnold Fishman, Medford Lakes. Each of the counties that are in the Pinelands appoints 1 commissioner. So there are 7 counties in the Pinelands. Each of you appoint 1 commissioner. The governor appoints another 7 commissioners to make 14. And the Secretary of the Interior appoints a federal commissioner to make 15. So you do have an appointment.
And do you know who the, I apologize, I don't know the name of the Burlington County appointee.
Sean Erlin. Sean Erlin. It's Sean Erlin.
Sean Earl.
Erlin.
And he's up in August, I believe.
That was going to be my next question. Thank you.
His term is up in August. So please consider appointing someone who will follow the law and uphold the comprehensive management plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more thing.
No.
We're going to go through them. Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Barbara Rich, 37 East Central Avenue, Morristown. If I could ask a favor, I'm not sure how long my presentation will be. Can you let me know when it's 4 minutes?
When it's 1 minute left?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Having attended the first of 2 public hearings in regard to the transfer of the Rowan property from the county to West Hampton, I am hoping you are able to respond to my questions tonight. When will the transcripts of the 2 hearings be available?
MP?
Pardon?
That's being handled by legal.
Oh, Kendall?
Jeff?
When will the
How
transcripts?
quickly will the transcripts be ready from the first hearing?
3 to 4 weeks. They will not be ready in time for the June 5th public hearing.
Jeff, perhaps we can expedite that.
I will check into that.
Would it be possible, since I just heard that response, to have the second hearing recorded and have that available to the public sooner than later?
Well, that one's here, right?
The second one is here.
So will it be recorded just as our freeholder meetings are recorded?
I don't know, Jeff.
No, we have a court reporter who's going to do,
Right, but I mean, in addition to that, you know, these meetings are video recorded. Could we do that for that meeting as well?
I did announce before the first public hearing that we would not have the transcripts in time for, within the 2-week period, but we can definitely record it.
And will that be available soon after that hearing on June 5th? The recording be available?
Well,
That's 48 hours. It's generally within 48 hours.
The
we
recording
post it.
would be available shortly thereafter.
Thank you so much. Will there be any potential for the 2 involved parties to make changes to the original proposal approved by resolution in December of 13? And is that original document available?
I'm not totally familiar with that. Jeff, would you please address this question?
Yes, which document, Barbara?
The original resolution that was done, will there be any changes to that resolution? And then if any changes are anticipated, when will that be available?
That's a policy decision. That would be something that would reside with the 5 of us. I don't anticipate that there will be any changes made to the resolution of December 2013. It is possible that there are changes made to it. If that is done, we usually would post that the Friday before the freeholder meeting. But it's plausible, but I don't anticipate that.
At the start of the West Hampton 522 hearing, there was an announcement made that there was a change in the only available document provided to the public, a 1 3/4 page description of the property details, namely Burlington County Board of Chosen Freeholders Open Space Preservation Report concerning proposed sale of real property. Under description of the property, which stated there are no structures on the portion of the property being conveyed to West Hampton. And I repeat, the only information provided to the public for their education. The opening statement made on 522 was, and apologies for not being able to quote, since structures presently exist on the property, that statement is eliminated. Therefore, the reason for the change is stated at the beginning of the 522 hearing. When people read a public notice and do their scope of interest, take the time to obtain the only document available to them at the county complex. Is it in the realm of reality that if they were led to believe there were no structures being conveyed, and that the historic home is not part and parcel of the conveyance, and therefore the clear of interest is being protected?
Excuse me, Mr. 1 minute.
You're kidding. 4 minutes, okay.
We'll give you a little bit more time, but it's just,
Well, I guess I'll have to figure out another way to communicate. The Rowan estate was purchased in '07 by Burlington County. The Burlington County program for providing $5 million for development and approximately improvement of active or passive recreation was instituted approximately 5 years ago. However, back in '07, under the county open space preservation program, under definitions, open space means lands or water areas in a mostly natural or undeveloped state, etc. For the preservation of rural character, ecologically sensitive areas, flora and wildlife, and areas of scenic, historic, and cultural value. Such lands may afford public outdoor fantastic recreational opportunities. This is all a quote. So one would conclude the Rowan property was acquired and preserved with assuredness in the county's open space program practice. What better example of the accomplishment of all those values being preserved than the space acre row in this space? What the public witnessed through the 20 years of the Burlington County Open Space Preservation Program is exactly what is stated above. Until 5 or so years ago, the county decided to expand its areas of funding beyond the goals of the open space program. The county now has a separate program for more intense recreation. Both programs presently satisfy the needs of various spheres of interest. Due to the apparent concern of the open space procedure, if the procedure is being interpreted differently, would it then indicate the need for a referendum question for the public to decide how and where they wish their tax dollar contribution to be directed, which is, of course, the exercise. I have no idea how my comments and the lack of some are being received by you individually. If not apparent, let it be known that I am very concerned about the process and the outcome of the process. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can I ask, can we get a copy of that, either emailed or, just because I know you weren't able to give your whole statement, would it be possible to get a copy of that? Thank you.
Any other? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment section. We'll move on to comments from freeholders. Freeholder Schwartz?
Yes, I just wanted to comment that I know all of us were out and about over the weekend for Memorial Day. I was fortunate to be in the Edgewater Park Beverly Parade and then to lay a wreath, and I know my fellow freeholders also were out and about. And again, I want to just thank all of our veterans, past and present, for all the service they've given to our country, and it was really wonderful. I'm going to kind of date myself, but I remember way back when Vietnam came about, when people who came back from Vietnam came back with kind of a cloud of shame over them and were not welcome back. And it's really nice to see how things have changed now and to see the increased appreciation for all of our veterans.
Thank you. Freeholder Belgar?
Thank you. I don't have much to say tonight. I just want to thank everybody who came out tonight. I know this was a pretty busy meeting with a number of proclamations, but it's great to see all of the participation, and I really do appreciate people taking the time out of their schedules to come be a part of the process. I think it's a really important thing, so thank you to everyone who participated this evening. I will just echo Joanne. Thanks to everyone who participated in Memorial Day events this weekend. I think especially the Edgewater Park Beverly Parade was really moving at the end when it ends in the National Cemetery, and it really gives a moment for reflection on those who just gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country, and I think it's an important time to recognize that. So thank you to everyone who took part in a Memorial Day celebration.
Thank you. Go to Don.
Thank you. Well, first, I think we all can agree that the hands of this county are in a good way for the future when we saw those young men and women from the junior ROTC program and the young lady from the 4-H program tonight. They were exemplary representatives of their organizations, I thought, and we as a county should be proud of their accomplishments. I can tell they're pretty proud of their accomplishments as well. This Friday, the county always does things differently. We have, this Friday, May 30th, is actually Memorial Day. It is the real Memorial Day in the United States. And since I've been a freeholder, we started holding a ceremony in Burlington Township at 11 o'clock, which is precisely the time that the federal government dictates that one should recognize Memorial Day on May 30th. So I'd like to invite all of you to join us in Burlington Township at their Veterans Park, which, Neck Road? Old York, Friday at 11 o'clock for a ceremony. It's actually very touching. Our staff does a nice job pulling folks together. Barbara, Mrs. Rich, did she leave? Oh, okay. Without getting too far into it, you and I have had this conversation a number of times. We have a number of different constituencies in this county that have stood up time and time again and supported the concept of farmland preservation, open space preservation, and it is important to us, and you know that. You know it's very important to us. If in fact a transfer takes place to West Hampton Township, it will not sacrifice the integrity of the open space that is there. Further, we talk about that municipal parks development program. that's something that came in while I was since I've been on the board. And I've been pretty supportive of it, as has the rest of the board. And I think for pretty good reasons. It's offered the opportunity to our constituent jurisdictions in difficult economic times where parks budgets are the first things to get cut, to maintain that soccer field, to improve the softball field. And while it may not be in your wishes that we had done that, and others, I'm confident, because I've had different conversations with the agricultural community where there's thoughts that maybe that money should be used strictly for agricultural preservation. We have to take on a balancing act here with the 450,000 people we represent, and the fact that, and I say this and I say it again, overwhelmingly the riverfront communities have historically gone full bore to support our open space program, yet they are rarely the beneficiaries of our farmland preservation program and or our open space and parklands development program. So when we as a board have an opportunity to recognize some of these programs that really fall down on hard economic times, I think we picked the ball up and ran with it and have done a good job. Thank you, Director.
Freeholder Howard?
Just want to piggyback off of what Freeholder Donnelly said about these young people tonight. You know, it's when you get a chance to work in a high school with young kids, and you see, you know, these 6, 7 individuals come out tonight and represent Burlington County. We're in pretty good hands. I really think so. Had the opportunity with Director last week to spend some time with our emergency personnel at the recognition dinner, and there must have been 300 plus
easily
people there over at the BCIT West Hampton campus. It was their recognition dinner, and as the director said when he got up and spoke to them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do in this county without them. And I can tell you that Burlington County is a lead example of volunteer emergency response teams, because by and far we have 2,500 plus volunteers that go out day in and day out when there's an emergency in each area to augment local and county services. So I applaud them. I also would be remiss if I didn't thank Nick and Charlene tonight for a tremendous job they did with that website. And I know, Nick, when I came in, you were one of the first people I talked to about trying to bring the county up to certain standards and see what we could do. And I hope we're going to continue to go with that route and see where we go. But I'll tell you what, that was very impressive. And I can't wait to go on it and sign in and link up to it and be able to share all the information that comes off that website onto my social media. So thank you again, I appreciate it. Director?
Sure, just had one more thing. I forgot, Freeholder Howarth and I were fortunate, along with Sheriff Stanfield, to attend the fallen, what we call the memorial service for the fallen firefighter, EMS, and police ceremony, and it was quite emotional, and especially emotional, I think, for a lot of us, because we heard names read of who died, not only lost in line of duty, but this year Dick Archer, Scully from Florence, and Ed Grabowski from Mount Laurel. So there are people that we as freeholders knew personally who also died regrettably this year, all too young. So again, we were able to attend that.
All right, well, at this point, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder Howarth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?